Hello and welcome to the Utropeia podcast. I am your ninja, Ken. Sure I can. And this week on Utropeia...
I just want no one to acknowledge you once, and you just have to move on.
No, I try to do it, but instead you explode with laughter. I'm willing to steamroll it, but you won't let me.
Damn it. I gotta be better.
You gotta be the best Hokage you possibly can be. Hello, you're listening to the Utropeia podcast.
Hello, you're welcome.
Hello,
We're here.
you're welcome,
For that
world. This is the Utropeia podcast, the podcast where we talk about tropes. This week we are talking about the character archetype of the Jester. And with me, as always, are my special guests and co-host. I'll start with you, Saker, a.k.a. Dimmsdale.
Hey, what up? It's me.
Hey, it's me.
Hey, it's me. Dimmsdale's an Italian name.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Can't dispute it because
Nope.
it doesn't exist.
Got no facts.
I mean Italy.
Yeah, exactly.
Italy is not a thing now.
Anybody here ever been to Italy? I didn't think so.
The moon landing in Italy never happened.
No. Especially not the moon landing in Italy. That was ridiculous.
Since both of those things don't exist.
Right.
I should go next to Moonjump, but I'm going to go to Todd Ogredose instead.
Hello?
He questioned.
It's gonna be another one of these openings, isn't it?
Maybe a little bit. Maybe. Just a little bit. And of course, from the moon, which we did not land on, is Chris Moonjump!
Hey, make you wanna.
Moonjump make you wanna crisscross. If you've never listened to this podcast before, we usually talk about what we're excited for. And I think we're supposed to be bummed out about something, but I'm going to ask...
No, that's later in the podcast.
Oh, that's later in the podcast. How foolish of me. How absolutely foolish of me. You know what, Chris? You seem to know what's going on here, so I'm going to let you go first.
Oh, God. I wasn't prepared. I'm excited about all the things.
Okay.
Actually, I'm not sure if you guys saw it this week, the leaked footage that Blur was doing for Deadpool.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, first off, to actually give a Deadpool movie where, he's not laser eye shooting, sword-armed Deadpool would be great.
Mm-hmm.
That, and I'm also glad that they brought back Ryan Reynolds as the voice actor for him.
So that he didn't ruin a movie?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's like the first time and last time anyone's going to say that. I'm glad Ryan Reynolds is on this project.
Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't that just like test footage from a few years ago?
From
Okay.
2011, I think it was.
But it looked so good. If the movie is anything like that.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, that's one thing that's excited. I'm obviously excited to go see Guardians of the Galaxy this weekend.
Yes. I'm going to see it later today.
Ooh.
No, I told you what I'm excited about too early. Oh, well.
All right, you're disqualified.
Okay.
Continue the podcast without
I guess I'm just bummed out. We're good.
But yeah, and like, hey, that was it for my week. In terms of what I'm bummed out about, because we do that here right now.
You just are, just for the sake of being bummed out.
Bummed out, exactly.
You don't have to be bummed out, but we totally give you that right.
Yes. Well, I'm not sure if you guys saw the recent announcements where Sony's actually announced has finally released for open beta their Gaikai streaming service.
Gaikai.
Yeah, or
Burger and fry?
Sony now.
Okay.
If only it were that delicious. But hey, you can buy you can rent a 5-year-old game for 3 months for $50. That's yeah.
You could just buy it for $50 also.
You could just buy it for 10.
You're probably right.
And then between that and EA announcing the Access program, where basically EA's Access is they're effectively doing like a Netflix type service for EA games, but it's going to be kind of heavily curated and light on a lot of the content. And it's one of those. that's kind of the modern thought amongst game developers, amongst your AAA game developers, is that, due to the way that kind of copyright law and things work, is that a gamer does not own anything in the game. They strictly own an access key, which means they can kind of get jerked around, and this is kind of the evolution of that. But unfortunately, there's something good to be said about the fact that, I can pull a Nintendo game out of my collection, put it in the Nintendo, and play it 27 years later.
Also, I have to correct you. A Nintendo is not a noun; it is an adjective, I believe.
Yes, it is the Nintendo Entertainment System. And you know what? This is America, and I'll call it what I want.
Well, Sega do what Nintendo to next with their opinion, with what they're excited for / bummed out about. Isn't me, because I forewent that, so it's Sega.
I don't know. I'm excited for Guardians of the Galaxy. I think I'm gonna go see it on Sunday.
Yay. Hey, I'm gonna see it later tonight. Oh shit, no!
God, now you gotta do what you're excited about during the last segment.
No!
What would you do better? Sorry.
That's a good point.
I don't know what Otacon's next weekend. I'm going with Mr. U Video and Poop and Louie. That's going to be a good time.
Jimmy Poop and Louie, who really enjoyed the Cowboy Bebop series and wants to see more anime like it. So, if you can find more...
That'll be fun. I am bummed out, actually, because not like I ever had any hope for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
Okay.
But they just released the theme song for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
Yeah? Was it a rap?
It certainly is a rap, and it's got Wiz Khalifa and oh my God, who else is in it? It's just possibly the worst song I've heard. Juicy J and Ty Dolla $ign.
Ty Dolla $ign.
Terrible. I don't know. I have no faith for the movie, but that just put it down even further. You know what? I'll probably see it anyway, though.
Oh, there's just that last nail in the coffin.
Yeah. Oh, it's true.
and the rap is terrible.
Yeah.
Rap is terrible.
Yep.
What isn't terrible is that Anna Cranberry is here joining us. Hello!
I was here the whole time!
Yeah!
That
so
was not
weird.
a joke.
Go back and listen. I was here.
If
You're just a jerk. You didn't even say hi.
all of the spirit stones, you'll see the glimmer of her voice in the first 5 seconds.
4 elements.
Can you go back and edit in hey, it's Anna Cranberry, and then all of us just being totally quiet and not acknowledging her?
And then edit in more crickets.
Yes,
and then
exactly.
edit in we're the hood, we're the hood, we're the hood.
I need to admit something to everyone listening. I've been a lie this entire time. I've just been edited in after the fact.
It is true.
I've always thought you were just like the Tyler Durden to Ken's narrator.
I only show up when the moon is full.
He's one of my other golems, made out of cranberries, but it's still my consciousness.
It's just a bottle of ocean spray
Then he put a wig on or something.
with glasses on it.
If you like it, then you should. Yeah, why not? No. Do we do what Todd was excited about or bummed out about for this week?
I'm bummed that apparently you forgot me.
I'm sorry. No, I remember.
No,
I did.
We
didn't pass.
No,
Okay.
no. I'm excited because I actually saw Guardians already.
Oh, cool. I'm going to see it later tonight.
I got into an advanced screening last night and got to see it, and you guys should not be disappointed by it. So I won't.
Should.
That's exciting.
I won't give away any of it because it hasn't been 2 years yet. And
It's been -1 day.
It's been.
I'm also very excited in general personal news that our 48 film nominated, and we're going to a best of. So,
Congratulations!
How exciting!
So we're definitely we haven't won anything, but we're definitely nominated, and that's pretty cool stuff. So
Yeah.
that'll be coming up next week. I may or may not be on the podcast next week because.
Well, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yay, team.
Cosmic Octopus.
Team Cosmic Octopus. Yay.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm excited about. Ray.
You should be. Good work.
Good work, soldier. Hey, Anna.
Hey, I'm here.
All right, you excited? You really excited?
I am simultaneously excited and bummed out about
because we're
something.
gonna do a lot of cocaine.
I'm gonna be honest. That
Utopia
silence
podcast
is
does
trying
not
to
actually endorse cocaine.
We do not endorse cocaine.
Or use it.
Guess what time it is? Okay.
Yeah. I was trying to think about what you could be excited and bummed out about, and cocaine.
Cocaine.
Cocaine was the first thing you went to.
That's the only option.
We're getting married. Cocaine is what you want.
If I think excited and bummed out, yeah, cocaine.
No.
It
I am
gon' ride,
neither of
it
those
gon'
things.
ride, it gon' ride.
By the way, I like that she brought up excited and bummed out about, and she said married. Just throwing that one out there.
Oh.
Where the
That's
hood,
following up with
where the
cocaine. You need
hood,
context
where
for that one.
the hood at?
Please don't
Seriously,
put up to
Wedding's off.
Wedding's off, no cocaine.
The thing I have both things about is there's a game that's out on Steam now called Darkwood
Darkwood.
that I bought
Is
and
that
then
about a
figured out
duck?
I was too scared to play.
Why?
God fucking damn it! Why am I not allowed to talk about what I'm excited and bummed out about?
That's what you're bummed out about this week.
Fucking cocaine and Darkwing Duck.
Why'd you have to flip out so hard about cocaine? That's my...
I had too much cocaine. And then I played the horror game called Darkwing Duck. Where he is also eating cocaine.
Let's get dangerous. Oh, this is a great intro. I'm calling it right now.
It really is.
For you.
Yeah. For you.
For you.
For you.
For you, Huey.
For you.
For you.
Okay, but yeah, Darkwood, you started playing it, you got too scared, you watched a tutorial, I looked over and I said,
I'm
what?
still too scared to play it again.
You're gonna make me play it.
I will, probably.
God damn it. That's what I'm bummed out about this week. I'm gonna have to play Darkwood. When there's trouble, I have to play this game. We're the hood, we're the hood. Okay, so now that we've pretty much discussed everything that everyone is excited for / bummed out about, let's talk about the Jester archetype. So, when I talk about a Jester archetype, I'm talking about like in most cases, a comedic relief, a fool, someone who kind of actively almost seeks out the attention. I'll look up a sort of semi-definition, maybe. That could help. I mean, not to get too definitive about... Is that the correct... No, fuck
That's
it.
the
You only
English
live
language,
once.
isn't it?
Sure, yeah, it's canon. Definitive. It's canon. We can't change it. It's canon. Just to have a great time, lighten up the world. You don't like being bored. You play, you make jokes, you're funny. You don't like wasting time, don't like wasting around. So you're pretty much just known as a fool, a trickster, a joker, practical joker, or a comedian. Maybe not one of the sad ones. You know what? No, maybe one of the sad ones. I don't know. But look, when I talk about a Jester character, what do you guys think of first? Anna Cranberry, what do you think of? Do you get a high when you think of what the Jester character could be?
Very high.
Very high?
Like cocaine.
Yeah. We're not talking about main characters like heroines or anything. We're talking about the point of
With a hood.
I love because Ken
Just
fumbled
weeding
to
him
get
out
to that
right
bell,
now.
like he was.
You could hear him tripping over things in the room.
Man, that
Rumble
joke
the
was
bell.
dope.
Oh, well, I'm glad we could weed that one out.
Oh, God.
God.
It really cracked me up.
Uh,
Ills.
Fuck you, that was okay.
It was all right up in this joint.
Just being really methodical about this, aren't we?
Because meth.
No,
Substance abuse.
No.
Okay. What happened to this episode?
With a hood.
It's the Jester episode. We're all trying.
We're all
Jester. I'm so Jester.
I
You really
think
want me to bring up a Jester. Dr. Roxo is one.
Okay.
It's true.
He is. He's a very good Jester. For cocaine.
Alright, apparently this episode is about cocaine.
Well, that's the title now.
gesturing to all the cocaine.
Nope, it's just, well, apparently this episode is about cocaine.
I'd like to note, just as an aside, real quick, in the beginning, all our episodes were kind of clever puns, and now all our episodes are generally just random sentences. I
think it gives a flavor.
I don't have a problem with this.
No, there's nothing wrong with it, I'm just saying.
The idea is that you listen to the episode so that you get the joke, and then you get 10 points.
That's true, that's canon.
10 cocaine points.
10 cocaine points.
Why?
I don't know.
Why did you ring the bell?
There was no pun, that's just our currency.
If you turn in 1,000 cocaine points, then I'll send you that video of me eating Taco Bell breakfast.
Look,
Yes?
drugs are serious. We should not joke to this.
You're right.
Not unlike a Jester would do.
So, Chris Moonjump, what do you think of first when it comes to a Jester? As I gesture to you, just in case.
Usually when it comes to the Jester, I always think of you always get kind of the actually, like a good one is I love when the main character is actually your Jester. In many ways,
the idiot hero.
Yeah, where and my one main example of that would be like One Piece.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
Well, because in many ways, Luffy is a person who is completely oblivious to life, and yet everything kind of progresses as a result of him kind of just doing what he feels like, and effectively
he's got to go fast.
Exactly. But no, and it's one of those, he is his own comic relief. Now, of course, this is on a ship full of people of comic relief. In many ways, it's like this podcast. We don't have a straight man. Well, actually, we do have a straight man. That's Anna.
I'm not being very good at it.
Straight man or tortured soul?
Chris, the entire time you've been speaking, I've been in tears, holding back laughter, looking at Ted, waiting for him to say cocaine.
Because I've just been mouthing "you're too slow" over and over again.
I can't take this.
Everything you say to me.
I think, Chris, you actually have a really good point, and it's, I think it extends beyond One Piece to a lot of shonen manga, especially Shonen Jump manga, because if you look at One Piece, I think Goku's the same way in Dragon Ball too. He's kind of the idiot hero. Gintoki and Gintama is the idiot hero. Who else? Bobobo. Those are all Shonen Jump manga where the main character is also the Jester, and I think it is a really interesting archetype to have that.
Yeah, well, and
hero.
it's especially like it's something that's important in the Japanese comedy circle, because that's kind of the whole thing behind manzai. Is you effectively you have it's very easy to be in a very serious world when you already have your tsukomi or when you already have your bokeh, which is the Japanese term for your airhead. Okay. And then everyone else can be serious, and then the comedy occurs as a result of just throwing the two together and watching them get pissed off. But well, and apparently Japan is undergoing like a renaissance in that particular comedy style of your Jester and straight man.
Okay.
Where apparently that's like the big thing on the morning television shows and things like that. So, I don't know. It's good to see comedy.
Well, that's kind of been a standby in Japan for a long time. I think is the 2-person comedy act where it's just two guys on a stage and one guy's silly and the other guy isn't.
It's your Abbott and Costello. Yeah. It's your Bert and Ernie.
Oh yeah,
your Pinky and the Brain.
I was gonna say we really don't have just the two-man groups in America, but yeah, you're totally right. We do. We do.
Less so now. Most of American comedy is one person. It's usually stand-up.
Yeah, that's true. Or it's kind of the what's it called when there's a lot of people?
A troupe?
Ensemble. Troupe ensemble sort of. There's the straight man and the silly guy, and then the girl or
and the girl.
Of Power Rangers now, but that's all the same thing.
Only defining trait.
That's why I'm here.
Oh no! We're the hood.
That's why I'm edited in.
Every week when we talk geek.
That was the second.
We're the hood. We're the hood. No, I wrote down a couple of anime characters as well. Goku was actually one of my examples too. So they seem to have the idiot hero a lot too. In Hunter x Hunter, would that lead character also count? They seem very happy.
I'm not sure if Gon really counts for that one. I would go for more like in Hunter x Hunter. I would go for Leorio.
Mm-hmm.
who is kind of the comic relief doctor because he's massively underpowered relative to everyone else. So he just
like Krillin.
Yeah.
Poor Krillin.
Poor Krillin. But who's Krillin it up next? Oh no, go on.
Well, it winds up being. In terms of other examples, you've got them all over the place. Especially, almost every anime you're going to look at is going to have a comic relief character, unless it is the seriest of animes.
Mm-hmm. Where everyone's dying.
Yeah.
Like Attack on Titan.
Anime.
Oh, yeah.
I think no matter what your media is, you're going to have the comic relief character.
Evangelion had comic relief characters.
Yeah. Pen. There was a little animal running around for no reason, yeah.
Can I make a... Let me pose another question real quick before we finish. Do you have to necessarily be a Jester archetype in order to be the comic relief, though?
Well, no, because I believe you also have the opposite end of that, is you have the comically serious character, who is a very straight man, serious character in a world of comic relief, and like
Squidward.
That's the exact example I was just going to say. It's Squidward. This like perfect example of that. It's just this like completely like sane, if not depressed man in the world of ridiculous comedy. and you laugh at
the internet has really taken to Squidward. Yep.
Well, the example I would give for that is if you guys have ever seen Full Metal Panic.
I've seen parts of Full Metal Panic.
There's a hamster.
Yeah, is your main character is basically like he grew up fighting in wars. He was a child soldier and everything else, and then he gets tasked to be in a high school where everything is super happy and kind of high schooly, and yet you watch him do things like sleep under his bed so he can't be assassinated in the middle of the night, or freak out and throw grenades at people, or pull fully automatic weapons in school, and because LOL PTSD.
Oh.
Yeah, you know me.
Not unlike The Devil Has a Part-Time Job.
Yes.
Where the devil has to work at a McDonald's in order to survive in our current universe.
Yes. Whack Donald's.
Yes, it is a Whack Donald's. Not a Whack Arnold or a...
Oh my god.
McDonald's? I'm not sure. What's the Coming to America one? McDolan's?
Oh, yeah, something like that. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Something like that.
I've never seen it.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Eddie Murphy?
It's like Doodles or something.
Yeah, McDoodles, something like that.
Burger King?
Well, being the Burger King of the Krangs, Saker.
Oh, that's me. Yeah, I don't know. My first thought, and when I started doing a little research, I thought about Guy from Galaxy Quest.
Really?
Yeah, and that kind of led me to another line of thinking, because in that movie he's very paranoid that he's going to die because he's a minor character, and then another character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, but then another character says, "Well, maybe you're not a minor character. Maybe you're the comic relief." And so in that it would kind of grant him immunity. So and then I started thinking about that, and I was thinking that that's an interesting idea that kind of goes along with the comic relief, is that, you know, comic relief really doesn't die, and if they do die, it's to have a big wham moment that really is going to tug the heartstrings.
Yeah.
That was the first thing my brain went to. Yeah,
it didn't
it's
happen.
been over 2 years, but there's absolutely zero reason for Wash to have died in that scene.
Except for a dick punch to all of our viewers. Or ovary punch, I guess.
It's to make that scene more memorable, to make the movie as a whole more memorable. And so I thought, that comic relief characters are invincible except when they aren't. Except when it's supposed to be a huge wham moment. So that was my first thought when we went to joke characters, or jokey sort of characters.
Jokey there is one character we're not talking about with that would be either of the Jokers. You know, whether Joker from Mass Effect or Joker from Batman.
I didn't go to Joker from Mass Effect first, actually. I was like, what? Who's the other Joker? Who is the other Joker?
The guy on the card?
Yeah,
he's hilarious.
The guy on the card.
I've never seen those two. I've never seen those two in the same room at the same time.
Makes you wonder, huh?
Just positing that.
Yeah. You know.
His name is Jeff.
Geoff.
What a crappy name for your Jester character, by the way.
Jeffrey the Jester.
No, I'm just saying Joker. Like, you're literally telling me this man's funny.
Laugh at him. He's crippled.
But in the game... Wait, Mass Effect has been out for over 2 years. In the game, Joker is so serious, and that's why he gets his nickname.
Oh, see, I've never
He does get a
played
free
Mass
anime
Effect.
girlfriend.
Oh, it's true.
He does get a free anime girlfriend and a body pillow, but we won't talk about that. Hey, Todd, can you pick me up? I've got this thing that I don't want anyone to see. Inside jokes. Hey, Todd. Who do you think of first when I say
Gilligan.
Jester?
That is
good.
Gilligan from Gilligan's Island. He's another... I don't want to call him the hero, because he's really a hindrance more than anything.
The show is named after
he's the
him.
title character, not exactly the hero.
Yeah.
Well, he is the
Fair
reason
enough.
they're on the island.
He is. He's the reason they're continually on the island.
Yeah.
But he is, like, he's the ridiculous one. He's the punchline to most jokes. He's kind of like the butt of the joke character. And he's, like, you know, lazy and stupid most of the time. So I kind of just I'm sure one of the minority who has seen every episode of Gilligan's Island for some reason. And so, like, when I think of, like, the ridiculous kind of character that earns the laugh track, it's Gilligan.
It is.
Especially because in Gilligan's Island, all the characters are, it's kind of like all of them are ridiculous to a point, but he's like the period at the end of the sentence. So it's kind of who I went to. A fun fact for our listeners, our Earthholes, just as an aside, did you know that Gilligan's Island, all the 7 castaways are actually modeled after the 7 deadly sins? That is
Didn't know that.
The creators even said that every single one of them is modeled after a different deadly sin.
Is the skipper wrath?
Gilligan is gluttony. Or no, I'm sorry. Gilligan is sloth. Miss Howell.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Mrs. Howell?
Greed and gluttony. Not Howells.
Huh. Oh, okay. No, now I know who's Pride. All right, fair enough.
The professor
you
is
know.
Pride.
It makes a lot of sense now.
Ginger.
It's not
is
the
lust,
Ginger.
And Marianne envy.
Yeah.
So, 7
Wow.
deadly sins.
Isn't
is
she,
so
though?
funny. It's so typical.
So what you're saying is Gilligan's Island was Purgatory Island before Lost was
Exactly.
Purgatory
That is
Island.
100% what
Oh,
I'm
has it
saying.
been too? Yeah, it is.
You could say they were lost on that island.
Oh.
No, that's literally what they were. That's why you would say that.
No, that's
what
directly,
happened.
that is directly what happened.
That is, yeah. You are explaining the plot.
That just happened.
A 3 hours.
Right there, tell a tale.
A tale of 3 more hours. Hey, sweetie.
What?
What do you think of when I say Jester?
I think of sitcoms.
Sitcoms.
Specifically, Joey from Friends.
Nobody told them life was going to be that way.
I like, because when you said sitcom and Joey, I went to Dave Coulier. Who also, incidentally, I think fits the role.
Yeah.
Well, I also thought of Kramer. There's
Kramer,
always that guy
going to
in
say,
a sitcom.
like, Kramer was a really good example of that, because of the way his character was set up. When the Seinfeld writers originally created Kramer, he was supposed to be this ridiculous kind of guy, and he was supposed to be just like the idiot that lives next door. And when Michael Richardson started playing him, Michael Richards started playing him, he kind of inversed it, where Kramer is an idiot, but he believes he's the smartest man on the planet. So he comes up with all these idiotic plans, but there's like this air to him, where he seems intelligent.
Intelligence to
but
it,
if you pay attention to it, it's so incredibly stupid. So like they did a really great job doing like a Jester character with Kramer, because it really should be talked about like in the who does it really well kind of category, because it's an interesting way of doing that character.
Seinfeld is kind of interesting, because if you exempt Elaine, who is clearly the girl, which is her only defining character,
Clearly.
Kramer's ridiculous. George is no less ridiculous, and Jerry's literally a comedian.
Yeah.
So that's kind of.
But he's the straight man.
He is the straight man. That's even stranger. You're right.
What's the deal?
What is the deal?
I'm giving it to myself. I don't
Good.
care.
You deserve it. That was good. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I don't remember. Anyway,
Okay, cool.
So who does it well?
Couldn't have been as good as that. So you're fine.
Actually, no, I did. So we talked a little bit about, like, in a ridiculous world, like, having characters who are ridiculous. So, sort of like what Chris actually brought up first before, I went crazy. No, while I was going crazy. Anyway, I was thinking of Michelangelo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He's the comedic relief, but the Ninja Turtles universe is effing ridiculous. There's ninjas, there's robots, there's creatures from other dimensions, there's animated bananas, maybe? I mean, it's absolutely insane. And to have, like, talking teenaged mutant ninjas, where, like, all of the characters have defining traits, to have, like, a character that is just the comedic relief and singles himself out as such, even though in certain interpretations it's absolutely nuts. I really like the 2000... Oh, excuse me. I really like the 2011 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because it's wacky, and they have a serious storyline, but they totally acknowledge it, and Michelangelo is just ramped up to 11.
Michelangelo in that series, like, I watch it and I'm like, no, like, he has to be like a special needs character or something. Like, no one could be this ridiculous.
But then you watch the 80s, and it's like, they're all ridiculous. And Mikey is just even more ridiculous. Sort of like what was the crossover one, actually?
Turtles Forever is what I was just about to mention, yeah. The 2010 Turtles think the 90s Turtles are ridiculous, and the Mirage Turtles just hate everyone, which I love.
Love the Mirage Turtles. Yeah. That's how they are, too, like in the original comics or so. Yep. Because, like, Turtles was originally like just a parody comic.
Yeah, of Daredevil, right?
Daredevil. It was pretty much the creators of the Turtles saying, "Hey, we don't like how Frank Miller writes. let's parody him."
Oh wow!
And so they took like all the things that were popular at the time, which were like talking animals and ninjas and like teenagers.
Yep.
And like mutants, and they just formed them all together to make a really like parody thing. And God, all these years later, it's still going.
People really like it for some reason.
So Mission accomplished, boys.
You did it. You just did it. But no, I thought that Michelangelo, for being like as crazy as he is in a world that's already a parody and absolutely ridiculous in its own, I think you kind of have to stand out to be special. But speaking of that, who do you think does it well, or just sort of does it differently? I'm gonna start with Anna, because it looks like you're falling asleep. It's hard coming down.
Too much.
I win.
Damn it! Fucking beat me to it.
Coming down off all that cold chocolate milk.
Ooh.
Man, coming down
What
like
I had in mind that I liked a lot.
An uncle from Gunshot.
Yeah, or a segue
Why
off
do
of the.
Uncle Ben.
Why do I even bother letting myself be edited into this podcast?
How do we interrupt someone who's edited in?
That's
you
talent.
really have to
Just
give
preemptively doing it.
here.
Premeditated. So one I had in mind that I liked a lot is from Buffy,
Yeah,
the
Buffalo.
Vampire Slayer. There's a character named Xander.
Yes.
And he is the Jester character. He's the funny guy. But he does a lot to contribute to the storyline, and he can hold his own. Like, there's a lot of depth to the character, which is one of my favorite ways they do the Jester.
Yes.
Is, and I swear Todd has mentioned this before in a previous one, where when a Jester character is sad, it hurts you a lot more.
We just mentioned that last episode,
The
actually.
sad clown.
But but I think it's been mentioned before, too.
Yeah, we probably have.
It's like Todd's favorite archetype.
Oh, the sad clown.
And one of
is
mine,
so
the sad clown. But I just think it was really well done because it's not hokey, and there's a lot of character depth to it. As far as who does it poorly,
We're not there yet.
Oh, we supposed to be bummed out?
Switch it up on us. Switch it up on us.
I just said who does it good.
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
I'll edit it out later. Unless you don't
I was
want
just
me to.
really upset right now.
Are you bummed out? Do we want to just go there right now?
did you have too
No,
much
we gotta
cocaine?
split them up.
Okay. We gotta
I was
keep
trying
them
to kill a fly.
separated.
I'm sorry.
But whose opinion is going to Jeff Goldblum next in the podcast? Jeff Goldblum was a fly.
So good.
Is Todd Ogredose.
I got a fly. Sorry.
Okay.
To
To the moon? Just Moonjump. What do you think?
What?
No, that's okay. We'll go first. Todd.
Character I think does it really well is Henpai, I believe his name is, from
Henpai?
Henpai from Kakaider the animation.
Okay.
That's another anime example, but he is in a really sad, dark world. And he's kind of like the only comic relief you get out of that series. Kind of like this like bumbling private investigator detective type. He's trying to help the family find Jiro, who's Kakaider. Yeah, but like the Kakaider is a very like if you want your emotions kind of just run through the ringer. Kakaider.
Wow.
The Kakaider animated. It is a fantastic series, one of my favorite animes.
Maybe we can put a link to it. Maybe. Possibly.
It's like a 14 episode series, I'm gonna say.
When did it come out?
Oh golly, when did it come out? Probably early 2000s, maybe.
Oh, so we'd have to put the link to the past then.
Yeah.
Okay.
No! Defective bell! There we go.
Good, thank you. Ooh, I got like 1.5.
More like 1.2.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a very, very like dark, sad story. Like he is like this like uplifting character. He kind of like roots everyone on, and he's ridiculous. So I thought I would be remiss if I did not bring him up. And the other one I had it's another kind of crazy, like it's a comic relief character in a crazy world, is the Homestar Runner.
Yeah.
Like it's a bizarre world to say the least, the Homestar Runner world, but
that it's so hard to separate who is comedic relief. Like, in a world that is, like, just pure... I don't want to say pure comedy, but I mean, it kind of is, like, for Homestar Runner. It's a lot of... Maybe non sequiturs. I don't know.
It's hard to describe Homestar Runner, but
I can't really accurately describe Homestar Runner.
Holmes is great, especially in like the recent ones, because he is like a nonsensical spouting idiot. He also has elements of being just this complete jerk, but he's like the friendly jerk, so no one really likes him out. I think Marzipan's the only one that ever really calls him on it. But he'll be like nonsensically condescending sometimes, and I think that's like a hysterical way of doing your it's like I was talking about the Kramer example, where it's like you have to stop and think about it, that they're being like really like nonsensically comedic because they're so like sure of themselves. I think it's a very good way of doing a comedian, because it just, like, if you don't laugh initially, you think about it for a minute, and then you laugh again. So, I wanted to point out that Homestar is an example, too, because I love him.
Email.
Characters.
Download. Store. Chris Moonjump.
So, the one that I always kind of go back to most fondly, and kind of looking at it, because I love it, because they even make an entire movie that basically involves kind of the more serious side of a very silly character, is Goofy.
Whoa! Let's get down to... Oh, no.
No, yeah. Although in that one you do have Mushu. But Goofy is kind of, in many ways the original... I wouldn't even say original comic relief, because very rarely they're very serious things that you would need the relief part of the comic relief in Goofy. Mm-hmm. But, like, I love him in the Goofy movie because he, basically he is the, like, epitomization of dad jokes.
I guess. Yeah, he is.
And almost embraces it. It's almost like it's not like he's trying to be funny. That's just
well, even in like the Disney 3, you have Mickey, you have Donald, you have Goofy. He is very much like the standard comic relief in that. You have like Mickey is like your everyman. He's like your relatable character. You kind of put yourself in his shoes. And Donald is like the very angry, very emotional one. But Goofy is just kind of like this, hey, I'm here with my buddies, doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop.
Not just comedic relief, but also the comic foil, I guess you could also say. Because he's the one who usually, not always, but usually starts whatever initial problems that there might be. And the Goofy movie is a great example because he's very sincere with his actions. He's not actively trying to be the goof, but he ends up being the goof.
How could he not? Look at his name. His parents doomed him.
It's like naming your child like Jeeves. Oh, what they're gonna be when they grow up.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to Butlerhood.
They just spelled Joffrey wrong. Joof.
Whoa.
Joff.
Georf.
Well, actually, the funny thing is, do you know Goofy's original name?
Steve.
What is?
George.
Whoa!
George?
Like our favorite listener.
How did he get...
Not our favorite listener.
He is
one of our
only listener. Both our favorite
Utropia podcast does not acknowledge George as our only listener.
Yeah, he is George G. Goofy. Or George G. Goof.
George G. Goof.
George
yeah,
G.
you're right.
Goof. GGG.
Although in the early
game,
episodes, Goofy was the Donald.
Wait, what do you mean? Like he was the angry one, or what?
He was angry. This was before they mixed together. There's the animation where Goofy is driving.
Just in that one, but...
He was the mad one, though. He was an angry cartoon.
Was his name still Goofy?
It was.
Or was he... What? Goofy?
That was Goofy.
Actually, you know what? If you honestly named your child Goofy, they would grow up to be an angry person. So that makes sense.
If you name your child Goofy, you done goofed.
No,
it's like
true.
naming your child Daffy.
You know what? I don't have a good segue for that. Actually.
I'm sorry.
It's
But
okay.
no, in many ways, I always feel like Disney does those very well. As a general thing, their comic relief is both helps to kind of, because you always have the falling act of the hero in almost any Disney story, and that's what your comic relief is there for. I mean, you have it with Simba and the Lion King with Timon and Pumbaa.
Yep.
You've got it with Flounder and Sebastian for Ariel.
Mm-hmm.
You've got it with Cogsworth and Lumiere in Beauty and the Beast.
A lot of teams.
Yeah.
And a lot of those are what we talked about, Straight Man and like the goofy one. It's like Pain and Panic and Hercules was like that
your
too.
comedy and tragedy, I guess, almost.
Sort of.
I guess, just to kind of, the point is to kind of play opposites against each other. So your serious character versus your manic, almost, if you will.
Oh yeah. Well, because like even if you watch within like the Lion King and things, I mean, you deal with someone's dad just died horrifically, and then you have Timon, who cracks kind of like dark humor about it, and Pumbaa, who's just very happy, and
Pumbaa who fart.
Yeah.
Pumbaa fart jokes.
Yeah.
height of comedy.
Hey, the oldest joke we have recorded and no man actually comes from the Babylonians. It is 5,000 years old, and it's a fart joke. Because apparently
that's the text of the joke is fart a joke.
Fart joke.
Ooga chaka, ooga chaka.
I can't stop this.
Deep inside of. Actually, I had Timon and Pumbaa for my Who Does It Well, actually, too. And you've pretty much touched on a bunch of it already. Just like the rest of the movie is very serious. They kind of come in to like balance everything out after a very serious moment. Like they're just a good team. It kind of plays off of their duality. We touched on all of that. It is Sokka, actually, from Last Airbender, is my comedic relief. Because that show, well, typically funny. Sokka is the one who will usually make the asides or the jokes. I mean, Aang is a very happy character, and he does funny things to get attention, kind of. But Sokka is the one who kind of makes like the funny jokes, and everyone acknowledges him as like the cynic or the funny character, but he brings more to the table than just being the comedic relief at the same time. We've talked about it already in our non-powered episode, which you could look at youtube.com or maybe iTunes when I figure it out.
Do it!
We're trying, man. SoundCloud's being sound site isn't being very good right now. At hosting me.
I mean, 8.
8. That,
no, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine.
I mean, I agree with you totally on Sokka, and if we don't want to retread the same ground, I think that a good, not really counterpoint, but something that supports that is they hit another home run in Korra with Bolin. Bolin fills a lot of the same kind of archetype that Sokka did, in that he's the typical comic relief. But at the same time, just like Sokka, there's a depth to his character that's not just, LOL, I'm silly, I'm goofy. He adds a little more to the story and a little more to the show than just the typical comic relief character.
And he's not... Oh, go on, sorry.
Oh, I'm just... The other thing that I love about Bolin is that they got somebody who's just so naturally talented at improvising to do it. You can just tell the parts where his voice actor's improving the line. Oh my, and I just love them for that. Like, if you have a funny character, you better get somebody funny to voice act them, because I just think they did Bolin so well in that show.
He does really well, actually. That all I was going to say is that rather than being like the kind of not necessarily hard comedic relief, Bolin provides the heart, where Aang provided the heart for last season or for the previous one. I think Bolin is more of like kind of the emotion, a little bit less methodical, and a little bit more like, kind of go with your gut kind of a guy, which it's a good take on it. They're doing comedic characters really well.
I could see that, yeah.
So thanks, Nickelodeon, for taking that show off the air and putting it only online.
Thanks, Nick.
Speaking of who does it badly or makes it redundant.
Wait, can I do my good one?
Did I skip you?
You skipped me.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Welcome to the club.
Well, I mean,
Here's your turkey and bacon.
Ding that, thank you. I mean, I had Gintoki and I had Bolin down, but then I also had my favorite anime is not a very well appreciated anime, which is Kare Kano, His and Her Circumstances. But there's a character in that, his name is Asaba Hideaki, and he's the comic relief, but he's also like the hot one, like he's the sexy one, which I think is really interesting because comic relief characters don't always get that kind of real life, you know, a lot of the time humor equals, you know, it's attraction. Like, people are attracted to people who are funny. And I think that's one show that really gets it right. And it's something that I don't see a whole lot of. Actually, kind of Bolin does it too, now that I think about it, in the later episodes, of course.
And Sokka maybe kind of does it too, with all of the moon ladies that he gets. You know.
All those moon ladies.
The one.
He did get
treading on that territory, Chris.
Indeed.
Hey.
Was that you?
No.
Stop.
No!
Chris, stop jumping on
it's
Sokka's girlfriend.
I thought it was... Was it Mr. UA Video?
Mr.
Mr. UA Video. Oh, he's gonna love that when he listens to this later.
Sorry, Bill.
So good.
But then the other one I had was Dan from the Street Fighter series. Dan is if you've never played Street Fighter, he's the goofy joke character. He's in every game he's in, he's always the worst character. His moveset is bad on purpose. His projectile goes like an inch in front of him, and his dragon punch goes straight up in the air instead of having an arc like normal characters. But what I think is interesting and well done about his character, besides for just being flat and comical, is that his character follows this weird archetypical evolution, which I think other games follow afterwards, which is when he started out, he was a parody of King of Fighters and Art of Fighting. He was Robert's head from Art of Fighting on Ryo's body from King of Fighters. And it was just making fun of their various movesets and stuff. But over time, he's grown into his own character and gotten more goofy and more silly and gained more personality. And I think another character who kind of follows that same trajectory a lot is Luigi from Mario, who started as just Mario number 2. But then as the characters began to differentiate, because they had to differentiate over time, you can't just have Green Mario and Red Mario, Luigi became the goofy one, whereas Mario's stoic and not at all goofy.
Or Italian, which doesn't exist.
That's true. Oh my god. Do Mario and Luigi even exist?
No, it's just Red Brother and Green Brother.
Do we exist?
They were fake just like the moon landing. No one else has come on the moon.
Oh yeah, so I think it's interesting that a lot of goofy characters have this weird evolution where their characters start as goofy and become something that's not goofy over time, because you can't just be goofy forever. Unless you're goofy.
Unless you're
goofy, then you have to.
You just jammed right on that. No, cool. No, I would agree. I was gonna make a self-serving joke about, like, I think I'm funny and no one never mind. Okay, so who does it badly?
Good job jumping off that joke.
Yeah. It's kind of a bit. I might cut it later. Maybe you know what? No, it's staying in. I can't do anything
That
about
was
it.
a pretty good example of who does it poorly.
Oh.
Ouch.
Speaking who does it poorly. Saker.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna start on you since I skipped you last time.
Yeah. I just have 2, and one we've already talked about, which is Michelangelo.
You think he
I've
does it
never been
badly? Okay.
I've never been a Michelangelo fan, and I just think that, I mean, it's exactly as you said. In a goofy universe, like, they had to make him triple goofy to even show that this, he's supposed to be exactly like he's supposed to be weird and funny, and it just comes off as insincere. I think I've always thought Michelangelo was an insincere character, based on, I don't know, just he's weird in a weird world. So I feel like they tried too hard. Oh boy, you're gonna hate my second one.
Nah, go for it.
Okay. So I think contrasting, earlier Chris mentioned Mushu, and I think that all the Disney supporting characters are good examples of kind of comic relief. I think a bad example of comic relief would be Donkey from the Shrek series.
Okay. We don't really go into it too much, but go on.
Well, I mean, I think his character is meant to kind of prey on that sort of, we're not Disney, but we're going to have a Disney-like character who's the side character, who's the funny one and the silly one. But he just hits, that same one note over and over again. And he just feels like he's a dime store Disney character who, tries really hard. I just don't think Donkey is as interesting as a Flounder or a, as a Disney side character. I think he falls flat on a lot of different fronts. I don't know. Yeah. Do you guys have any thoughts on Shrek? I don't know if you've ever thought about it, but
we try to, we try not to.
I've never seen Shrek. I don't know what you're talking about.
As Todd Ogredose.
Anyway, those are my two.
I have, however, seen Shrek 2 and watched half of it, so it's kind of like watching Shrek.
So you've seen the first Shrek, pretty much.
Yeah.
Am I watching half of Shrek 2? It's good. That's math. That's how it works.
Yep.
Twice the Shrek.
It's twice the Shrek for double the price.
Oh my god, can you watch a fourth of Shrek 4? Can I manage my time that easily? Like,
look,
if I watch a fourth of Shrek 4, what if I watch a third of Puss in Boots? What does a spin-off do for me?
Well, then you pretty much get 3/5 of the original.
Sounds like a
Shrek.
fraction.
Oh, weird. Yeah. Maybe I just get Boots.
Yeah, you just get something that looks like the country of Italy, which doesn't exist.
True. This is now canon for the universe.
Italy,
and it's going to be a running joke.
And that is very canon.
Perfect.
Like Nick Cannon and a bucket of chicken. So, actually, for Who Does It Badly, I had, I mentioned Michelangelo for what I think of first as a goofy character in a goofy world as being bad. I had a bunch of them, but I'm just going to go with, I'll go with Brick from Anchorman, actually, as being a bad example. I know people think he is hilarious and that he is a non sequitur, but he is just an idiot to be there for an idiot's sake. I mean, I know Anchorman is a Will Ferrell movie, and that it is supposed to just be silly and nonsensical, but those characters have an inkling of why they're there and certain motives, I guess. It's
Don't they
actually?
Don't they even announce in the beginning of the movie that like years later they find out he's retarded?
Yeah, he's legally retarded, and that's a joke, I guess.
I'm with you. I hate the humor that's just like lol, random, ha ha ha, like panda, pirate, ha ha, like, and that's what he feels like to me because his humor isn't predicated on absolutely anything. It's just here's something. Oh, now I have a trident.
It's non sequitur.
Like, it's more than non-sequitur. It's nonsensical. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you're right. That's exactly what it is.
I guess for Michelangelo, I'm a little nostalgia goggled, but in the 2011 series, he actually has a little bit more of a personality, if you can believe that, where they just sort of say like his fighting style and what he does sort of comes naturally, like he doesn't have to think too much. It's sort of like an auto-responsive immune system, so he can be distracted, but he can still like get the job done almost. But he knows he's an idiot. And it's in kind of doing that he's almost a good asset, because when you send the idiot out to fight, they think, oh, he's incapable, but he's actually able to kind of accomplish a lot of stuff, which is interesting for him. That's really only his redeeming factor, and that's all that'll really stick up for Michelangelo, other than, yeah, sure, I like pizza too. Who doesn't?
I've never seen 2011 Turtles, so...
It's,
I like it.
It's good. You know what? A lot of people don't like it when things are remade from childhood, but 2011 Turtles is actually something that I really enjoy, like compared to 80s.
Actually, yeah, I think you had us watch an episode when we were over last, and it wasn't bad. Now that I think about it,
it was okay.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Other than Brick, I think I had Meatwad also, just because that world is nonsense. I love Meatwad. Don't get me wrong. It's just as an example, but pretty much for the same reasons that we already talked about as a comedic foil. I'm going to go with Anna next, because she's fallen asleep.
I've been awake.
I'm
edited in.
Once.
Once. I tried being awake once.
It was terrible.
So there's a character I have in mind.
Yes.
Very well known.
Okay.
And it's a love-hate character for me.
I think I know who it is. Go on.
Guess. Who do you think it is?
Is it Gur?
No.
Oh.
More well-known.
More well-known than Gur? Even in Japan?
Even in Hot
I don't know how well known it is. Urkel.
Whoa!
Urkel.
man.
Boo, 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 boo.
Blowing your minds. Pretty much a definition of the Jester character, and I think Urkel started out really one-dimensional. It was literally just, did I do that?
Yeah.
And he would just show up and fuck shit up. And that was all you would wait for, is for him to fuck shit up. But as it went on, I mean, he got a lot better. Like, he was known to be like a genuinely kind character, but then they got weird with the Stefan stuff.
Yeah. Stefan was way past cool.
Way past cool. I was about to say little known fact. It's not really known.
But I busted it open.
He did the voice acting
for
like,
Sonic
every
the
Sonic
Hedgehog. But everyone here knew that. Did I know that?
Oh, One Piece. The other character I had was sort of the inverse, where it started out okay and then turned terrible. Chowder from Chowder.
Oh, God.
What's his favorite cartoon show?
Chowder.
I bet it's Chowder.
But he started off as a fairly like nice, genuine character who was interested in stuff, and then it turned into the Urkel type.
He directly became
Where
an idiot
all
later
he
on.
did, literally everything he did was just make everyone else miserable. And because he was too dumb to really acknowledge it, it was even more frustrating because he felt no remorse for terrible things he's done.
This is true.
So,
No, he had like a
too.
general motive, and he wanted to be a chef. He was sincere about it. It was a cute little show actually in the beginning, and then later on it just became I ate everything. Okay.
Like, I don't want to be a chef. I just want to eat. It's like, all right.
now we
I'm
can't
done.
live.
No. Funny stuff. So Chris.
Well, this is one, and it kind of ties back into the nonsensical type thing. Is they tried it with and this is going to get me a lot of shit on the tumblers and whatnot.
Yeah, on our Utropeia Tumblr that we
Yeah.
totally operate.
but Sasha from Attack on Titan.
Oh, the meat girl. The
Potato Girl.
Yeah.
Yes, and the thing is because they literally talk about in some of the like side section stuff of Attack on Titan where they have like food riots and things like that because a lot of their agricultural land is knocked out, and it's one of those like, oh, see, she's just funny and she likes to sneak food and she's quirky, and it's like you literally are watching people get murdered and eaten. Like, it's just one of those. They throw her in there and give her that kind of personality for no reason. Like there is no, like, it doesn't even really tie into her character.
They actually do have a reason. If
Do
you
they?
read the comic.
In the mango?
Yeah, it's about
Who
how she
reads
was raised.
How was she raised?
I don't want to spoil nothing. It hasn't been 2 years.
Oh no! You're right. Can't beat my own.
I don't know.
king.
I don't remember if they go into it in the show. I don't think they do.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But no, it's just one of those, like, you're almost, especially for a series like that, you almost can't have a comic relief.
Well, you can. It's just, I mean,
Like,
in
yeah,
Soviet Russia, when everyone's dying,
Yeah.
do you make a joke about, like, oh man, I had to kill my own parents?
Like, that's, you're like, oh.
Just imagine that happening in
there's-
Game of Thrones. Like if Sam was just like, "Oh, I sure love food."
I had to kill my own parents, I did.
Yeah, and that winds up in many ways. It's just one of those, because of the setting. It's almost one of those, like, now's not the time. Like,
Daddy's talking.
yeah.
No, well, yeah, you have to kind of think about, like, what your character is for the show, because you wouldn't have, like, a Michelangelo character in Schindler's List or something like that.
Oh my god!
Like, how inappropriate and just off-kilter would that be?
Oh God, that is so awesome.
Like, there's making a statement, though. Like, if that was the skit where it's like, you can't do that, dude. Like, if that was the commentary about, like, this is terrible, like,
Oh, God.
everything is awful.
Just who was the Urkel character in Grave of the Fireflies?
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I ate your last food drop candy.
I ate the last of your fruit drops, did I do that? and that's the rest of the movie for like 3 hours.
The sound of his last terminal breath leaving his body.
No, that's the sound he makes when he rockets off into Step by Step to make a cameo.
Bravo!
Bro. I guess he'd be rocketing off into Kiki's Delivery Service or something in this universe.
What?
What universe is this?
It's the Ghibli universe.
It's the Gibble.
Where Urkel's in Fear of the Fireflies and Kiki. Duh.
Jeez. Get it together. Toad?
I have kind of two examples, and it's we mentioned Krillin earlier.
Yeah.
And Krillin
Say
bothers.
no
Well, it bothers me because he just becomes the butt of every joke. There's no like comedy to it. The joke is, hey, let's laugh at Krillin.
Yeah. No.
And you actually get frustrated with it sometimes because you're like, Krillin used to be something, and he'd do something.
I used to be something.
And now, like, the joke is, hey, it's Krillin.
Hey, it's Krillin.
Yeah.
That's true. When a comedic character, when their very presence isn't enough of a joke, like they don't even have to do anything funny. It's just like, oh, Krillin's trying to fight Frieza.
Yeah.
That's like, you're right. That is kind of silly because he doesn't have to tell a joke anymore.
It
They're
goes
just
from
using him as
being
the
like
joke.
comedic to kind of sad. Just like
Yeah.
you're like, oh, well, I don't want Krillin to be made fun of anymore.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes he does make jokes about it though. Like there's in the intro to Dragon Ball Z, I think Gohan actually says like, "Hey, you and my dad trained together." He's like, "Yeah, he kept growing and I didn't."
Yeah. Because he's short.
Yeah.
Oh, Krillin.
And because he's a mediocre fighter on a relative scale.
He was better than Goku in the beginning though. Like by a margin, by a very small margin, but still.
Yeah, when he's first introduced, he's a rival.
Yep.
He's Goku's biggest rival.
I think he even... Yeah, when I was doing research, I remember reading, I'm looking it up now, like during the Vegeta incident, he even says, why do these things always happen to me? Like, he's aware that he's the butt monkey of the group. Like,
the other example I had was like a modern day Homer Simpson, where they've been, and it's not even just him, it's of characters. There's a term called flanderization, which incidentally enough comes from The Simpsons, where a character starts off as something, but they get kind of noted for one characteristic, and then that gets exaggerated, and eventually that's all the character becomes. Just that. And you get, like, the older Homer Simpson was, like, he was a bumbling buffoon, but he was also, like, a very caring father. And he was a very light character, but, like, a modern-day Homer Simpson is very, like, he's kind of like that, like, why are you doing this? What are you doing, Homer? And there's very like selfish reasons behind it now, and I think it's just kind of destroying a good comedic character where you have like a middle season, season like 5 or something, Homer, where it's like, Homer's up these ridiculous shenanigans, and now you're like, in the modern day one, you're like, Homer's just a jerk. And I think that's like just doing it poorly is just, and it's like we talked about with Chowder. It's like in the beginning there was something, and then now like they're just the comedic thing. There's no actual like depth of this character whatsoever. It's like eating a sandwich with no lunch meat. That's all you have anymore.
They become a caricature of themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Community is a big.
I was going to mention that actually. Were you going to mention the same person?
I'm just tying on to Todd.
Yeah. Well, I was
bringing it up.
okay. Yeah.
No,
Sorry, Todd.
by all means. Is Anna interrupting someone?
We're the hood.
You're very detailed to edit me in interrupting other people.
That's not difficult to do. It's difficult having the offense added in afterwards.
No, I want to hear what you say about it, actually.
That was pretty much it.
Oh, okay. I was going to tag up on that with Britta, actually, for your Krillin example. Was she started off as, like, pretty smart, pretty intelligent. She had, like, a character motivation. She had reasons behind stuff. And then the joke was, Britta's the worst. She Britted it up. Yeah. Like, she was ruining everything just by being herself. Like, her character has become a joke. It's... Well, go on.
I mean, it was weird because she almost went into this, like, cocoon of the writers where she was one character, and then when the joke was that, you know, Brit is an idiot was the only thing that anybody could come up with, you know, she went into hibernation for a while, and then she became this entirely different character when she took on this whole psychologist thing, which gave her a really weird but really good, I thought, motivation for the last 2 seasons, and she was interesting again, and I don't know.
Being kind of an idiot, but also wanting to deal with psychology, but... Yeah,
well, her whole thing was, she wanted to... And she actually ended up helping quite a few people throughout the series, which I couldn't imagine her doing when she was just some environmentalist hippie.
That's true. For selfish reasons, just for attentions.
Yeah. Well,
okay, we are at a decent point in time. I guess rather than... I guess I'm just going to ask this. Are there any final thoughts about the Jester archetype? Any, anything that you'd like to see more? Any, pieces of advice that you'd like to do? Any, like, final examples, maybe, that you would like to go into? I don't really... I'll go first and be selfish because, who is this a podcast? I don't know. The Jester character is quite possibly one of my favorites. I think it can make or break a series, to be honest, depending on how it's used. And I think people put a lot of themselves in the Jester characters when they kind of write it out for what they think is funny, or even their own commentary about what's kind of going on in the universe. And we've said it multiple times, and we'll say it again. When a comedic character or a Jester is kind of the sad one, everyone sort of feels with it. I mean, when you see kind of a team of characters and there's the comedic relief, I usually gravitate more towards the comedic relief. Actually, that's usually my more favorite character. And I think there is a certain quality to it, of bringing people happiness and trying to make the best of a situation that's I don't know, it's very drawing. It kind of brings you in a little bit. So go for it.
Well, and the one thing that in kind of listening to all of us talk about who does it poorly and things like that, the one kind of common trend I saw in it was when the character went from having a joke or having a shtick to being that's all they were. They stopped because comedic relief also still needs to be a character.
Yep.
They can't just be something for you to occasionally go LOL jokes. You actually they need to be a character. They can't just be the joke.
That is an excellent point. That's actually what I was going to bring up as well. Is remember that even though they are a comedic character, they're still a character, and you have to still give them life. Like Chris said, you can't just the guy comes in, drops his pants, there's the joke. You want to still make your comedic character really relatable, because like Ken says, a lot of people themselves in that position. And we use humor to kind of deflect off the things that are bad, the tragedies of our lives. They always say the best comedy always comes out of a tragedy. So I think it is just really examining your comedic character as a character, and as a team dynamic. I think is the best way to go with them. Is don't just go for the simple joke. Is have your audience care about them.
Yeah.
Saker?
Yeah, I mean that's basically what I was gonna say too. Is just they can't be just all that simple. So hit the nail on the head. Ooh. Good job. A+.
Right. Okay, and Anna is tapping out.
Everyone's mentioned.
Hey Ken, what are you excited about this week?
Guardians of the Galaxy, which I'm probably going to go see in a little bit. But I'm bummed out
Cool.
that I messed that up like 3 times in the beginning. So, there you go. But what I'm not bummed out about is what our topic is for next week, which I did not forget, which I'm excited about for next week. That is, we're doing crossovers, actually, as our general.
Yes.
I hear the drum.
Oh man, I'm bummed I'm not going to be here.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It'll be good.
That'll be fun to listen to.
Should be good to record too. I hope I'm there for it. But yeah, no, I think with that, I'm gonna sign out from the end up.
Good night. Macru.
Todd?
Oh, sorry. Cocaine?
Second?
Running joke? That's all I got. Sorry. Who's got a bunch of fish on your desk? Take them off of your desk.
All right.
Oh, speaking of fish, by the way, I also want it to be known that Sokka, there's a reason why she came to the moon.
With a hood.
And no, it wasn't me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Okay, I believe you. And this is Ken signing out. Trope, you found what you're looking for. Until we talk geek next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Boo, 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 boo.